Hi, friends. Welcome back to another episode of Why Are We Here? I'm your host, Spencer Crandall. Before we get started, just a quick reminder to subscribe wherever you're listening, or if you're watching on YouTube. We'd love to have you just as a part of the Why Are We Here family. We want you. We need you. We need you. Tell your grandma and your orthodontist and your enemies, whoever that is, just let them know that we have a podcast called Why Are We Here? We're new to the podcast game, but we're loving it. This episode is one of my favorites we've done so far. It's with my buddy Lily Rose. She's going to be a freaking superstar, so you're going to want to watch this now and come back to it in 5 years when she's winning Grammys and stuff. So without further explanation, my buddy Lily Rose on Why Are We Here? Get into it. On the pod, we have Atlanta native, the one, the only Lily freaking Rose. How you doing,
What's
friend?
up, dude?
What
this
is
is
up?
so fun.
Isn't it kind of fun?
Yeah,
I
it's
got a little
awesome.
sad. It's like we're playing radio.
It's so great. I know, right?
Yeah, it's a good time. I feel like you have not slept in the last 7 months. Your life has transformed so drastically from when I met you to where you are now.
Yeah.
Last night you played a show outside, on Broadway or something like that.
Yeah, it's in the new 5th and Broadway, on the rooftop. It's like a 2,000 cap venue thing. Sick.
It looked incredible.
Yeah, it was awesome.
My parents live in the little skyscraper on the other side. They look down on that.
Oh my gosh.
So-
How long have they been here? They got a
Since
place
January.
here in Denver?
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah, my dad
sick.
moved here for a job opportunity.
Cool.
So yeah, but she's always texting me Luke Bryan was out on the deck tonight playing a show.
CMT's
So,
always recording
Yeah,
everything up there. It's
exactly.
beautiful.
it looks incredible. And you've just literally been killing it for the last 7
Thanks, dude.
months. I feel like when we first met, it was the Right with Forbes, correct? Was that the first time? Or
even a Super Bowl party at your house, maybe.
that's
20
crazy.
Maroon 5 year,
2017 or 18?
18.
Oh my gosh.
Holy
that
cow.
feels like we were just talking before we came on air, just how literally time doesn't feel like it's
Yeah.
real since 2020.
Yeah,
It's
no.
wait.
Future.
Future. But I feel like the first time we got to really hang was either at that Super Bowl party or that we had a Right with our good buddy Forbes.
Hurt So Good Day.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That song's a jam.
That song slaps.
It's a pretty freaking good jam.
I keep trying to tell Big Loud that song slaps.
Seth, look at me. No, it's so good. I feel like I was in the Right, and I hadn't really seen any of your artist stuff or anything at that point. And Forbes was like, "Hey, would you want to hop in with me and Lily?" And I was like, "Sure." And there's just a weird feeling. I'm sure you get this as well. You're writing or you're with somebody, and you're like, they just get it.
Yep.
And I feel like I got that from you. You're so talented in your ability to find melody and lyric, and immediately I was like, oh, you're gonna be hard to write with because you're an artist.
Yeah.
There's a difference between writing for writers who are this is the best thing for the song, but you have such a voice, and I was like, oh, there's no way that this song isn't gonna sound like her in the best way possible.
For sure.
It was such a massive part of why I fell in love with you as an artist in that room that day. I was like, oh, you have a thing.
Dude, and I felt the same way. It's when you're a writer, you just click with people and you don't. It's the same way when you're playing basketball. You've got chemistry with somebody or you don't. Even if you just met them.
Mm-hmm.
And I just met you, and I was like, dude just gets it. And I was like, and this is not the last time we're gonna write, and it's dope. But it's so funny because I feel the same way about you in the writing room, because I think the next song we wrote was What You Deserve with our friend Matt Morrissey.
Now I'm looking at my manager,
Yeah.
Jeff.
And I'm like, dang, this dude, I get to exercise my muscle of being a writer for another artist because you just command a room when you're in it. And it's really cool that the two of us both saw each other as that other thing.
No,
you know?
I love it. It's so fun because I feel like a lot of our conversations just as friends is kindred spirits in we love what we do. We both love the grind and the hustle and the life that it is to be an artist in 2021. And I feel like we've really bonded over that and how hard it is and how fun it is.
Yeah.
And there's just not a lot of people that I meet that I feel I can only describe it as that you just get it.
You just get it.
From your business to your music to your art.
Yeah, dude.
I'm all in. If you had stock, I would just go all in on the Lily Rose stock.
Trust me, I feel the same way about you because there are not a lot of people in town that I've met that take their careers by the reins and understand that opportunities come and go every single day. It's what you do with them. And it doesn't always mean that that's going to be the green light. You know, it could be the yellow light and everything. And you're just one of those people that I look at that's like, damn, I'm approaching 2 million. Have you hit 2 million yet? You're approaching.
TikTok?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You have.
1.8 or something.
Yeah. So you're approaching 2 million and you're like, what else can I do to create? As a creator, what else can I do? And you just take it and you're just like, yep.
Well, thank you.
Crushing it left and right. And it's dope. And there's not a lot of people that I've found Kindred Spirit wise that are doing that. So I look up to you a lot.
Oh, thank
you.
All that, man. I feel the same way about you because I watched you go from, like, what I loved is you just put out a song, Overnight Sensation, right?
Yeah.
And I hadn't heard this story of you being in town for like 4 years, but doing music for like a decade and working like, what were some of the jobs that you worked before you got into music?
Yeah. While I was in music, honestly, I was delivering groceries 7 months ago,
That is crazy.
Yeah, dude. But customer service phone lines. I worked overnight stocking shelves at Opry Mills Mall. If you've ever been to Nashville, it's definitely not Green Hills. Bartended, refereed little kid basketball games, refereed high school basketball games, whatever I could do to write at 11 a.m., and play on Fridays and Saturdays.
That's, again, why I look up to you because of your tenacity. And then I feel like you put out a song called Overnight Sensation, and it talks about that of like, yeah, to everyone else, it looks like I just put a TikTok online and it came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
But you've been at this, and I'm so glad I met you before all that and stuff, because I can say like, no, she's been at it. Like, you're one of the people who writes every day. You're on the grind. We
wrote that song in 2019.
I know, it makes me want to throw up.
Yeah, that it's like it's a lot of people are hearing the song and they're like, wow, that's so cool. It's autobiographical, all of this, and I'm like, yeah, but we wrote it before anything happened. It's like we had a crystal ball, which is the craziest thing. So if you haven't heard the song, go listen to it so you can see what we're talking about. But
no,
cool.
You have to. If you haven't heard the song, go listen to it. It's so good, and I feel like I love songs that you listen to for an artist, and I feel like there's a difference between like, oh, I relate to that, and like, oh, this is a piece of someone's heart. Yeah. And I felt like that was a piece of your heart, and it was like just so cool and special and intimate and vulnerable.
Yeah.
And that's like the kind of songs that I love. So,
dude, I appreciate it. I don't know about you, but like, some artists, they really do have a piece of their heart in every single song that really taps something deep. But for me, to try to sell every single night that we play that song and other songs, I really only have like 4 or 5 in my set that I don't have to dig down deep for. It's just like, it's just sitting at the top of my heart every time, That's
like, why you're an artist. That's why I think you're going to do amazing things, and why I would go all in on the Lily Rose stock is because I feel like you're telling real, authentic stories.
Yeah.
Especially as like an out person in country music, like all that together is just, it takes so much vulnerability already as an artist.
Yeah.
But then to add in your like adversity and your story and what you've been through, the grocery bagging and all the stuff, it just is so inspiring. And I feel like you're one of the stories in country music right now that like just needs a big old freaking spotlight, because you're just the kind of person that I love to watch win.
I really appreciate that. And I'm just really lucky to be with, people like Seth and Joey and everybody over at Big Loud and Rakaya, and my team is just, I'm really, really lucky with it all, because we're just trying to lead with the music. It's like the best way to break down barriers and everything and continue to be tenacious and show everyone this is how change happens, is by just putting out good songs.
You're undeniable. I think that's the best way to put it, is like, there's not a single person that can hear your music and be like, well, I'm out because of this. It's like, nope, doesn't matter. The songs are too good.
Dude, thanks.
You can't listen to Villain and be like, yeah, I just can't listen to her. Like, it will be stuck in your head. You don't have a choice. And I love that. I feel like you weren't on TikTok though, like quarantine. Like, were you protesting? Were you just like out on the app? You're like, that's for babies.
Yeah, I didn't download it until like middle of October of 2020. So even went through most of quarantine without it. But yeah, I think I was one of those millennials that was like, nah, that's not for me. And then I saw everything you were doing, and a buddy, Andrew Janakis, get a record deal, Priscilla get a record deal, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna download TikTok. But that's one of those things, back to taking your career into your own hands. You can fight opportunities that are sitting right in front of you. And when I say opportunities, it doesn't mean a song going viral or capitalizing on a song going viral. The opportunity is an app to reach fans on a year we can't tour. Take it. Okay, opportunity number 2, having songs just the ability to have a song to put out to the world, put it up there, and then just continuing to post. I think people are so frustrated with, yeah, but you had a viral song. And it's like, no, I downloaded the app and then I put the song up and then I put another one up until one of them just worked, And it's really cool watching people just take it and just do it.
Oh, it's
and you're
insane.
just one of the only ones that I really look at that I'm like, yes, Spencer, come on.
I feel the same way about you. It's so fun, and I feel like Villain is the perfect I heard it. It was on my For You page, and I know you, and I normally scroll past people I know because I'm like, oh, I know what they're doing. Like I've heard them, and not I support you. Like I'll throw you and I'm on, but like that song, I was just like, okay, keep going. Oh my! What is happening? I wanted I felt like the person who was because when it came out and it did everything that it's done, which is incredible, I felt ownership over you as an artist. Was like, I found her first.
Yeah.
And that's what's so cool about TikTok.
Oh my gosh.
Is you can find your target audience and they can feel responsible for you as an artist. Like your record deal, you were on the radio.
Yep.
You were on the freaking radio because of a video. Do you ever think about the butterfly effect of what if that night you just nah, I'm not going to post it.
No, I talk about that a lot. Have you heard or read, I guess, Matthew McConaughey's book, Green Lights?
Oh, Green Lights?
Yeah.
You think I didn't listen to that audiobook the first week it was out?
Holy.
It's incredible.
Okay, so I was listening to it. My main peak of delivering groceries and everything was Thanksgiving week. And I was listening to it because I'm just AirPods in, working 9 hours a day doing that. And I was 3/4 of the way through the book. And he's always talking about green lights are always usually yellow and red lights first. They're very rarely just this wide open door. So I put up this song called Two Lonely People on TikTok right around Thanksgiving, and Rakaya Marshall hit me up and was like, hey, I just saw this. Your voice is really interesting. I think I'm about to start a new company. Do you want to meet? And I was like, sure. We met and she told me, you don't have enough going on, so I don't think I can do anything with you, but let's just keep in touch. And I took that as, I got to go keep posting.
Yellow light.
Yellow
Not
light.
a red light.
Not a red light, yellow light. And I was like, okay, as an athlete, I always was like, what can I do to have the coach? They can't have me on the bench. They have to have me in the game.
Undeniable.
They can't, undeniable. So I was like, I'm just going to keep posting. And the next thing I posted was Villain. And I keep asking myself, I'm like, one, thank God that I listened to that book and I understood what that meeting was. It was just a crack in the door. It wasn't the open door, but it was a crack. Because guess who was the first person that called me when that thing went viral? Rakaya Marshall.
And it's such a perfect fit, I feel like, for what she does and what you do. And same with Big Loud. The second I heard that, I was like, oh, this makes a ton of sense.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy that you're over there because they're just winners and they kill it.
And they've been my number one since I moved to town of record labels my dream record labels. And because they just let their artists be.
Yeah, the authenticity. I feel like there isn't anybody on the Big Loud roster that isn't just look, this is who I am. Yeah. So just take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it.
That's exactly what they do.
Before it was cool because now it's the incredible thing about moving past I don't want to say the bro generation, but the pretty boyness that country music has been for the last decade. Now
Male,
everyone's
pale, and
kind
stale.
of, it's now everyone's kind of I ain't going to work out. I'm going to do this, whatever. And it's no, Big Loud has just been people being people and artists.
What do you do?
Day one.
Cool. Do it.
Just do it. Yeah. And as a member of the LGBTQ community, I knew that I needed a record label that was going to let Lily be Lily. Lily Williamson, which is my real last name, and Lily Rose. And they have never once asked me to be anybody but myself.
That's
with
amazing.
Everything. Even with the music. Hey, Lily, we really like this song. And I'm like, y'all, I just can't tell that story. That doesn't make sense. They're like, okay.
How important is it to you to have, I've heard you talk about song integrity.
Yeah.
Song integrity with your team and just saying, I love that you use the pronouns you want to use. It is these little things that aren't so little. It's these things that are tapping into your authentic truth. And you're like, look, this is what I'm going to do. How important is song integrity to you and telling your story in your music?
Yeah. I don't think that I ever knew how important song integrity was in general until I joined the Big Loud family. Because when we have A&R meetings, which we have one tomorrow morning, which is when we go in there just decide what we're cutting next kind of thing. It's Rakaya, who's my manager. She does not work at Big Loud. Seth England, the CEO of Big Loud, and Joey Moy, who is my producer. And we just listened through a bunch of stuff. And when I'm in the writing room, writing these songs to finally play for them eventually, I'll tell the co-writers, I'm like, y'all, Big Loud won't cut something like that. It's not good enough. Like the song integrity. And I think the Dangerous album with Morgan and, you know, Hicks Tape 1 and the Hardy record and everything they've been doing with Jake, it's just, it shows.
It's a high bar for storytelling.
Yep. They do not cut bad songs at Big Loud.
No, it's annoying. Like, I'll listen to a Big Loud project. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
How did they even find that song? And they're great at pitching songs.
Oh my gosh.
I feel like you just had a little dream moment. You got a
Yeah.
you got a cut. You were obviously pitched by, is it Mike G over at?
Yeah. So Mike G over at Publishing and then Camille in our A&R, the two of them just get me. They get the Lily Rose sound. So the songs they pitch are sick. And the day after I signed the record deal, Mike G sent over a list of 20 songs. And the first song on that list was Remind Me of You. And I listened through it and, you know, all of a sudden I heard, She Likes, and I was like, that's Sam Hunt. And I was like, what? Because that dude, you know, yeah, I started listening to his stuff in 2013 or 14 when country music didn't have trap hats and, you know,
But back to
FGL did,
authenticity.
but like, yes.
The dude was just like, I do this thing. It's not for everybody.
Yeah.
But I do this thing. And weirdly, by
It was
like
for
saying I'm in the out group, all of a sudden you are the in group. And he just has this thing. I mean, he is this is just an opinion, but I think he's probably the best living songwriter in Nashville, Tennessee.
Yeah.
And to be able to tell the stories that he does, and like I always use like in rights, I'm like, yeah, that's fine, but it doesn't make me feel something like night sand felt good on sunburnt feet.
Yeah.
The economy of words there of just like, it's stupid. Everyone knows you're at the beach. All of a sudden you feel something, like all your senses are activated.
Yep.
What did it feel like to listen to a Sam Hunt song that was written by Sam, singing the demo, and then to go put your voice on it and then to put it out in the world as a Sam Hunt fan?
Yeah. You know, that was wild. It's interesting because I've never put out a song that I'm not a writer on. That was my first outside song ever. So at first it just felt a little bit like karaoke. You know, it's like I don't produce my music and I also wasn't a writer on it. So I'm like, I'm just out here like putting a vocal on something. It's bizarre. But now that we're playing shows, I feel like I own it. It's mine. But I was very nervous when Seth sent Sam the master. And I
What
was
do you
like,
think?
my favorite country artist of all time is about to give his approval or denial of something he created out of thin air that I'm now going to show the world. And luckily Sam liked it and everything, but it was a dream come true. You know, it helps when you find outside songs that clearly your influences of why you got into the genre are the ones that created it. So it was a good fit for me, you know?
Oh, it's a perfect fit. I mean, the second I heard it, I was like, oh yeah, that's a Lily song. Like, I know it's obviously other writers or whatever, but there's just this thing where if you get the right cut on the right artist, it is like it found its home, like its rightful owner.
Yep.
It's like a weird thing. You can't even describe it. There's a magic, there's an aura, there's an energy, and it just felt amazing. I heard that song, I was like, damn. And I was just super jealous. I was like, you get pitched Sam Hunt songs.
Yeah. And Sam doesn't he doesn't give a lot of songs away. So I was very humbled by that. You know, and Ernest and Corey Crowder and freaking Charlie Handsome too. They just crush. But yeah, that song is cool in a lot of ways. And I'm really thankful that a song like that has so much swag and the songwriting is just unreal is the song that we got to put out. That's kind of, it's a little evolution in country music of being able to say she with a female vocal, you know?
It's incredible.
Yeah.
Again, back to the authenticity thing, like the fact that we live in a time. I read something the other day. It was like, look, Pride Month's over, but like there's still a large percentage of countries where like it's illegal to be a part. Like that's so fucked.
Yeah.
It must feel good that you're like, well, at least we've made a big old step here.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to, again, be undeniable in my music and live my truth.
100%. And I didn't really realize this until maybe a month ago, but the thing about pop music, and the bravery is across the board. So I'm not, you know, shitting on anybody that's been doing this in another genre. But the beautiful thing about pop music, that format, their artists are catering to a group of people that already, for the most part, have their arms wide open for the LGBTQ community. I'm out here trying to change some hearts of a lot of people that don't believe that I am going to go to heaven, that I should even legally be allowed to marry somebody, let alone just like be myself kind of thing.
Yeah.
So yes, I want to make people smile and drink and have a good time and all of this stuff with my music, but I'm out here trying to change the hearts of like parents that are having kids to show if fear is the biggest thing, you're afraid that your kid's going to get beat up or that they're not going to go to heaven and all this stuff. If we can show them we're playing on Good Morning America, or we're winning awards, we're doing this, we're on the radio. Hopefully that they're not afraid for their kids one day.
I mean, look, I'm a white straight male. I'm 5'10". I wear hats. I look like everybody in Nashville. So when I came to town, it was so easy for me to say like, can it be done? I was like, well, yeah, it's actually being done every day.
Yeah.
And I feel like what's so cool about what you're doing is you are, whether or not you can admit it or want to admit it, you're carving a new path. You're giving somebody, I heard this example and I never thought about this. Like, someone's talking about how they're like, I love how, politics aside, Kamala Harris is going to be in somebody's textbook and there's going to be some little girl who's looking at like, okay, old white guy, old white guy, old white guy, whoa, that looks like me.
Yep.
That's so important. Representation matters.
Yeah.
And I feel like you are carving a path in a genre that traditionally is a little bit slower to change.
Yeah.
Do you ever feel pressure with that, though? Like, I'm sitting here and I'm like, okay, so now I feel like, there's you, TJ Osborne, Brooke Eden, a couple other awesome people in town. There's not a ton of people that I know of or that are out. Like, what does and especially as far as killing it goes, you're top of the list. That pressure, or do you feel pressure to speak for that community, to always talk about it in interviews, to make it a part of your identity, to be a good example to the little kid or the mom?
Yeah. I didn't really feel that pressure until Pride Month of this year, if I'm being honest. Just that's when the interviews really, they come in and there's a lot of questions and there's a lot of people looking to you during this month because of the flag you're carrying, like figuratively and literally,
sure.
like the flag. But for me, there were a lot of interviews that we had to turn down at the beginning of my career because Big Loud and you're working with Olivia and Lexi too at O Creative and everything, that we were like, the story right now in January, February, March is Lily Rose villain music artist only, not TikTok, not gay, not anything of that. And it's been really cool moving into this new level of now everybody knows who I am as an artist and songwriter, and now we get to dive a little bit deeper. And the pressure's there for sure, but back to what I was saying earlier is, good songs. We're not going to go anywhere as long as we keep putting good songs out. And how we change the world is not going anywhere,
Yeah.
So, yeah, I feel the pressure for sure, but when I came out to my parents and everything, I heard a line that was, being gay is the least interesting thing about me. And I always really, really wore that. And I was like, yes, yes, yes. And then 2020, with all of the Black Lives Matter stuff and just really the showing of how little representation a lot of people have in the world, but let alone in this community of country music, I was like, it's the least interesting thing about me, but a little kid in a textbook or a little kid at the Country Music Hall of Fame or whatever it is needs to know that one day this is just going to be a blip in the radar and they're going to be able to do whatever they want.
Hell yeah. I literally just got goosebumps. That's incredible. I love that because you do have the opportunity to do that. And I feel like if there's anybody who the pressure could be on, I believe in you. Again, like Thanks. I'm so excited for you. And your music does lead the way. But I feel like you have such a fun opportunity to speak on things that you're passionate about. And that's, it's a weird like dichotomy of, or it's interesting to me when people are like, just play basketball, just sing songs. Because I'm like, but we are also humans.
Yeah.
We have thoughts and opinions. So it's never really registered with me when somebody's like, just do the thing that I want to see or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, that's great, but then don't follow them on socials.
Yeah.
Then don't listen to the podcast.
Legitimately can't even get started about that. It's just like, God, I hate everything that they have to say on their stories. And it's like, you can unfollow
Why
them
are you
for
following
sure. Like, it's bizarre. But yeah, you know, I don't really speak up about a lot of things, but I do speak up when I think it's important, and things like Black Lives Matter and, you know, pride and why we have pride and the Trevor Project and saving kids from killing themselves just because they want to be themselves. You know,
I had no idea the suicide rate in the LGBTQ plus community. And the second I heard that, like, my heart just broke. I'm like, I believe it's something like 5 times more likely or something like that, especially before they're 18. And like, that's the kind of thing. Oh, you don't think representation matters? What if there is a girl in Atlanta who's like, what? I could never be in country music. I could never. You can be that person who's like, hey, I'm not saying I'm perfect, but you got a shot. And if you make good music, people are gonna listen.
Yeah,
that's so fucking cool.
And starting if you're you and you work hard and you have good music, then you got a shot. But the first thing you got to be is you. And you know, I spent it. It's funny that you know, in the community we always talk about. There's like this second teenage youth thing that you feel like you have, because a lot of people, especially gay men, don't come out until they're in their 20s kind of thing. And we are all just suppressing ourselves through those teenage years with everything. So I feel like me being me in my 20s and not delivering groceries anymore and being with the love of my life, Dara, who is absolutely incredible. I feel like I'm the full version of me I've ever been these last 7 months.
That's amazing. Which
is really cool. And, you know, I've been out for 10 years, but again, getting to create music every day and all that. So it's cool. It's been a super dope journey. And I hope, you know, a 17-year-old girl at Catholic school in Atlanta who wants to be in country music can look up to me and know.
I think they already are. And I'm just blown away by your ability to like just get people behind you, not in a way of like, hey everybody, I know what I'm doing. Again, it's because you're so talented.
Thanks.
And you just lead the way with like your songs, and then what you have to say is so important. So I'm super proud of you. Not that really matters.
Thanks,
now we're gonna play a small game.
Deal.
It's like literally the smallest game ever. It's the 1-word game, and I have a couple people on this list. I'm just gonna give you the people, and you just give me a word about the people.
Deal.
Rakaya Marshall.
Talk about tenacious. That one right there.
Yeah, she's a badass. She's killing it.
It's unreal. You know, she does not take no for an answer, and as a female, that's not always an easy thing to do, because you kind of get labeled with that fun B word that like nobody wants to hear, and she does not give a shit. She's like, okay, fine, I will be the biggest bitch in the world, but we're gonna get this right. We're gonna get this right. And she fights for people. She fights for the things that she believes in, and I couldn't imagine having a better person by my side every day.
That's amazing. Matthew Morrissey.
EGOT. You know, everyone, we're all out here, we're like, damn, we want to win ACMs, we want to win Grammys, we want to win that. I'm like, y'all, Matt Morrissey's going to win an Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and a Tony and leave us all in the dust.
He just has so much talent.
Unreal.
He's just so incredibly musically talented.
Insane.
For the listener at home, Matthew is a writer on Villain, and now
he's my producer.
With Joey, correct?
Yeah, so he and Joey co-produce most of my pop-leaning songs these days. But yeah, Matt produced. He didn't write on Villain, but he did produce it.
Gotcha.
So yeah,
gotcha.
It's sick.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's really fun. And then Dara.
Oh.
You have one word to sum up the love of your life. Go.
Yeah. Fun.
Nice.
I know that's a bland word, but I think everybody needs somebody that is always just going to make sure that you're having fun, whatever that capacity is. For us, we go out and drink 4 or 5 nights a week, so fun, but just down for whatever.
What like clicked in you where you're like, oh, this is the love of my life? Like what was the like thing that got you to that point?
Yeah. You know, the night we met, I don't know what it was, but I looked over at my coworker who I was with, and she, as Dara was pulling away in an Uber, and I was like, I can't tell you what it is, but besides something divine up there with whatever religion you believe, I was like, I've never felt a stronger pull to anything.
Dang, you felt that? That's so cool.
Night one, and I'm like, I know that's like stupid and all of this, but you know, like I don't know what it was, but somebody that lets me be me.
Oh, I mean, that's the number one thing I'm looking for in a relationship. Like, I had a girlfriend in high school or whatever, and I felt like at the end of that relationship, I got to a point where I was like, I'm me, but I'm not like 1,000% me.
Yeah.
And like, I'd rather hang out with my high school friends. There must be something wrong here where like, because it's almost a switch. And I feel like the people who make it work or who end up together are just so authentic with the people that they're with.
Yep.
And has she been there with you through all of the craziness over the last year?
Yeah. It's been wild because like we did long distance she lived in Las Vegas and I was in Nashville. So we did long distance for a year and a half. Then she moved to Nashville the week of the tornado.
Oh my gosh.
And we got hit. And then it was COVID
right.
the week after that. So we have been, stuck together after being long distance, which has been dope. But through all of this, she's always making sure I'm in therapy. I love therapy. And she's always making sure, hey, you good? Are you in therapy? And I'm always doing check-ins like, hey, our lives have completely changed. How are you doing? Like all of this stuff. And I never want to go hang out with my friends without her. And she feels the same way about me. That's how I knew it was my person. I know. Just all the warm feelings.
Oh, the good stuff.
All the fuzz.
Okay. I love all that. It's now time to play another game. Here we go. I have in this drawer.
Oh, I'm excited.
This is a really fancy deck of cards. We paid $20,000 for it, and it's definitely not something I hand wrote. So, if you can't see at home, these are just a bunch of note cards. But the last portion of the show, obviously the show being called Why Are We Here? I love asking deep, weird questions that nobody else asks.
Love it.
And so I have compiled the deepest, weirdest questions in the universe. We're now going to take turns. So I will draw a card and ask you a question, then you'll draw a card and ask me a question.
Love it.
Again, you've been warned. They are very,
Come on.
We're going to go to another place.
I'm here.
Are you ready to become next level friends?
Yeah.
Here we go.
Let's go.
Okay. What is the thing that you are the most proud of?
Being a good daughter, sister, partner, and friend. Trying to, at least.
Yeah, but I feel like it's cool that your identity is like outside of music. Like, because the gross part of me always wants to answer that question with like, streams.
Yeah.
I have this little devil on my shoulder that's like, streams, don't want streams. But it's true, like, at the end of the day, your tombstone's not going to say, like, this many number one songs.
Nope.
It's going to say, like, all those things that you said. I love that.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Dude.
Okay, your turn. Hit it.
Here we go. All right. What is one of the best pieces of advice you've ever been given?
Great question. Great question, me.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Wow, whoever wrote these questions must be handsome. Gosh, the best piece of advice I've ever been given. I feel like my parents just always enabled me to like just do whatever I wanted to do. I mean, the amount of privilege and like support that I have is incredible. But I feel like my dad was always like, you are going to do something for, 8 hours a day. You sleep the other third of your life. Like, you basically have 3/3. If a third of your life you're going to do something, pick the thing that lights you up.
Yeah.
Pick the thing that makes you feel alive. And I feel like in college, I got 2 shoulder surgeries. I had no idea what to do with my life. I was playing college football. And I got to this point where I was like, I have no idea what to do. And so I asked myself what that was. And I was like, I think I kind of want to try music. And my parents, the ability for them to just be like, cool, let's do it.
Yeah.
Like, that was crazy. And it's not as much advice as just like support. And I feel super lucky.
Dude. And it's like, I definitely had the same thing happen with my parents and everything. And I was like, I can't wait to be able to be that parent for my kids.
Right?
And like,
isn't that cool?
Again, also understanding the privilege that we've had of a 2-parent household with the money to get us a guitar and all of that stuff of like, damn, I want to work hard so I can help my kid achieve anything too.
Absolutely.
Like that's dope.
Absolutely. I feel that a lot.
Yeah.
I feel.
Yeah, we're lucky.
Yeah. If I could hit the lottery like 7 times in a row, that's what I feel like being born with the parents and the siblings and all things. Okay, another question. What is your biggest motivator? That was nice.
Yeah.
What's your biggest motivator?
Yeah. Yeah, dude, right? I wish I could sing like Mariah or even Breland. Oh my goodness.
Oh my God.
Dude, I had to cut a song of his the other day, not to shy away from this question. It was like the only song that we were cutting that I was not a writer on. So listening to the demo, I was like, okay, I got it. And I was like, I don't got it. I was like, we got to move this down a little bit.
Let's go down a half step and not do the 12 octave run.
Yeah. My biggest motivator is Breland. No, my biggest motivator is back to our convo earlier about just changing hearts and minds with music and putting smiles on faces, make people feel all of that. So to do that at the level that I want to of stadiums with everything, that means I got to make sure I'm eating well, getting in the gym every day, showing up, writing the best songs, whatever I can do to make that person feel wherever that is at the biggest level. So
is that the goal, to play football stadium?
Yeah, I mean, I want to be
hell yeah
bigger than Taylor Swift. You know, no, I know he's stadium gang, dude. Like, but you know, we're all lying if we say in music that you're not trying to be a Garth or a.
What like about doing it at the highest level is like interesting to you? Like, because that's not normal. And I ask myself the same thing. Like, why do I have to choose the 1% part of the dream? Why can't I just be like, yeah, I just love to put out music or whatever? What about the stadium is the dream for you? Yeah,
I mean, you know, selfishly as a consumer, I feel the most when I'm at shows. I fall in love with new songs the easiest when I see them live, and all of those happy tears, sad tears that I've felt in shows. I want people to feel that too, and I want 70,000 people a night to feel that. So you know, that's why I love performing more than anything. So
is that your favorite part of the like full circle writing all the things is that performance?
God, yes. Yeah. I love being on stage. I love it.
You're good too. Like I feel like that's it sounds silly, but a lot of people who like, did you cut your teeth like performing a lot, like at college bars and stuff like that?
Yeah, I've probably played over 1,000 shows.
There you go.
Yeah. So.
I was like, there's no way you just know how to do that.
No. Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. So much trial and error. Even last night we had Ableton issues. Like the tracks cut off 4 times. Headlining.
The
on
last
Broadway.
person I had in here was Fillmore, and we saw him at Whiskey Jam.
Yeah.
His tracks cut out.
Yeah.
Like you have to have played a lot of shows to be like, I'm not going to cry or freak out right now because I will.
You know, and like last night was just like, cool, you guys figure it out. I'm going to play acoustic for the people. Nice. And when we get back up there, you know, and that's just practice. You know, it's just. So.
It's a pro move. It's a pro move. If you haven't had your tracks go down and had to like look at the side stage and they just go, you haven't done it.
Yeah, dude. And like also knowing that it has happened before, it's happening right now, and it will happen again.
Yes.
So. In a stadium one day.
Good
so
reminders.
Be ready.
Okay, I'm going to ask you another question. Here we go. Who are the top 3 people who have made an impact on your life?
Who? You know, I have to start first. I don't want to use up 3 people, so my mom and dad just combined.
Yeah, we will say
they
parents
are package. Just always, you know, getting me the drum set at 9 years old when I could show I had a little rhythm and expressed interest, letting me stay back and watch the, you know, maybe mediocre player at the Mexican restaurant because I was like so enamored by live music and all of that. So, you know, just they let me be me always. So definitely them. Biggest impact on my life. My cousin, Zach, who was like the older brother to me. He was that like one cousin that like lived in Atlanta with us. So we saw him all the time. He taught me how to play drums. I played my first drums, piano, guitar, everything up in his room. He was my idol with everything. And he actually passed away when I was like 17. So it's just that thing of if he didn't get to be on stage for a living, like I'm going to play every show for him, you know, of like I get the privilege of still being on this earth and getting to entertain people kind of thing. And I'm going to go with my guidance counselor. I actually went to 2 high schools, and the guidance counselor at the second high school who never knew that I didn't even know I was battling my sexuality with everything, but just battling a lot of demons with things and always, always, always reminding me that like you have tomorrow.
Dang.
You know?
That's awesome. I mean, it's crazy what's an impact somebody can make on somebody's life. And like, does that person even know that?
You know, obviously Zach doesn't because he's not here.
Sure, the guidance counselor.
But yeah, my guidance counselor, I have, expressed that to her many times of it's not, not the heavy way or any serious way,
a beautiful
but
way.
how I was like, dude, you saved my life back then, not in an actual physical way or anything, but you always let me be me even when I didn't even know who me was. And that's not easy to do in a Catholic school in the Bible Belt,
Yeah.
So
yeah, I can only imagine.
love her.
Yeah.
My turn. My turn. Let's go. Come on. People want to hear. Oh, this is a double question. Okay. What is a daily habit that you're proud of?
A daily habit that I'm proud of? Probably like working out. I like that. I am doing that. It makes me feel good.
Do you do that because it like makes you feel good mentally?
No, I want to look better naked mostly, but between that and no, it really is like an anxiety thing. Like
me too.
I will feel bad if I don't have that. Like I did the Peloton this morning. I thought I was going to pass away for like that 10 minutes. And then you come back to reality and you're like, oh, all of the chemicals in my brain feel right. And
dude,
you're a former athlete. I'm a former athlete. Like I'm a washed up athlete. So it feels good to like exercise that like feel like I'm not a complete couch potato.
Dude, that is the same for me. And what is a daily habit that you wish you could change or something that you could do?
Oh, God. How long do we have? I am on my phone too much, and I hate it. I'm trying so hard, but like the little slot machine in my pocket just calls to me. And I'm sure you feel the same way. There is such a thin line between work and going down a TikTok rabbit hole for 6 hours, and all of a sudden I'm watching science videos. I'm like, what am I doing right now?
Why?
Yeah, I just wasted all this time. So trying to be better at that. What's your relationship with like social media and your phone?
If I'm being very honest, I know I post a lot, but it's only because it's there. If I wasn't doing this for a living, I would delete it. Not because I'm one of those people where it's like, I don't even want to be on it. I would just delete it because I am on mine too much.
Yeah.
And having a partner at home, we both find ourselves sitting there and even 15 minutes passes by and we're like, we haven't seen each other all day. What are we doing? Yeah,
we're in the same room, but we're not in the same room.
Yeah.
I was bad at that in my past relationships, and it was something I was always working on. Like, I had a girlfriend, she's like, we've been together for an hour and we're just laying on the couch, and I know that it's not a big deal that like we're watching a show, it's very casual. And yes, like, again, the tough part is I'm like, I could be technically working, I'm like researching or whatever. But just put it down.
Just put it down.
Just do it. And I'm trying to sleep with my phone in a different room.
Nice.
Which we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
I'm on night 2, and I don't love it.
Yeah.
And it's weird how addicted to that little device I am.
Dude. It's nuts.
Is there a time in your life where you felt like I'm doing exactly what I should be doing right now? If so, when? Or I'm doing exactly what I should be doing like in life. If so, when?
It's cool because we were just talking about that. And last weekend, I went on my first headlining run, and we played like an hour north of Atlanta. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, I bet you some people come up, like my friends and family, all of that. No friends and family or anybody came up except for my parents and my brother. And we sold it out. And then they let another 100 people in. And I was sitting there in my first massive sold out show, not just like 150 people, with all of them singing Villain. And I look over side stage, and Seth, Rakaya, Dara, my parents, my aunt, Zach's mom, like, are all just crying. Yeah. And I'm like, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And I'm so lucky that I've got all these people in my corner, because not everybody's that lucky. And like, thank God. Like, truly, thank you. Like,
That's
like,
incredible.
It's dope.
That is incredible.
Yeah.
All the hard work and this entire conversation of being the girl in Catholic school who's like, I don't know what I'm doing, to going to bagging groceries, to what we all have this crazy story. And sometimes it feels like, where am I going? What the fuck am I doing? Why am I on this planet? To have the payoff of like, oh, it's to tell stories and to entertain and to do that. And I feel like I saw your stories and I literally said out loud, I was like, yes.
Yeah.
Because I just love seeing good humans win. And I love that you had a sold out show this like early in your career. It's only going up, and I'm so excited for you.
Thanks,
I just
dude.
can't even tell you.
Dude, I feel the same way. I'm like sitting here and I'm like, this guy, you just don't stop. And it's just like, you want to know why my person just hangs in the top 20 on iTunes country is because you just refuse to quit.
Well, thank you.
Like,
I appreciate
it's
that.
incredible.
Thank
It's
you very
awesome.
much. Thank you.
All right. Oh, I picked up two. Didn't
How
read
dare
that
you.
one.
Don't put out the episode. It's over.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Sorry, guys. What is your biggest goal in the next 6 months?
I have a single that we're working on, and I would like to. I have a lot of like really big goals. I'm not going to share them here because I don't want to jinx anything. But just some of like the bigger. We all have these little things that are like the next, right? So like
Sure.
go from on the horizon on the highway to like in rotation, to go from this to that.
Yep.
So just these little goals like that. But it's through this next single.
Come on. That's awesome. All right. What about the next year?
Next year, oh gosh, I would like to be able to do. I'm about to hit 100 million streams as an artist in my career, which is
Insane.
super fun. And I would like to, I'd like to double it in a year. I'd like to have like that exponential jump where
Yeah.
you just
I think you
pop
can.
off. Well, thank you.
Like, no
Thank you.
freaking, no question. And then the next 5 years.
Oh God, I'd like to meet somebody that I like romantically. That'd be fun
Yeah.
outside of music.
Yeah.
What you're talking about of like the grind, which is a huge compliment. I appreciate it. I'm very bad at the dating thing and the talking to humans and finding somebody that doesn't annoy me.
Yeah.
So
It's not easy these days, dude.
no.
It's really not.
and I like kid about the last part, but it's just tough to like balance. I think in the next 5 years, if I had like a real goal, is to find a better work-life balance. I feel like I'm not. I love work and I love what I do, so I can convince myself to keep doing it. But then all of a sudden, I hate it out of nowhere, and I'm like, why do I hate the thing that I always say I love? And it's like, oh, I'm overworked. So like,
Yeah.
I'm going to Colorado this weekend. I'll get to hang with the family. Just little things like that built in to my life are super helpful.
Yeah. No, it's important. That's awesome.
Yeah. Do you have any like 5-year? Like obviously the stadium's big.
Sure.
What are I know you have a bucket list.
Do.
What is like 3 things on the bucket list you want to check off? And let's actually go non-career. Music's
Non-career?
great, but
Okay.
like I want non-career bucket list items in the next 5 years.
Sick. Yeah, I want to travel a little bit more, which LOL. Like
R.I.P. 2020.
Yeah, RIP 2020, but also like I think I'm in 8 different
I
states.
think you're
in the
about to
next-
travel a lot.
in the next 2 weeks, like right, like just between radio tour. But I'm excited, to have some time if we go over to Europe for anything work related, to take some time over there and just really spend time in other parts of the world because life is too short and Tennessee's way too small.
Way too small. Nashville's way too small.
I'm 20. I turned 28 in a couple months, so I'm really looking forward to getting married to Dara eventually and start looking forward to having children. Luckily, there's no accidents that can happen here, so it's all pretty planned out. But
Yep.
just really starting a family and all of that. And then number 3.
Do you have like a jump out of an airplane, bungee jump kind of bucket list item?
Dude, definitely not either of those.
Are you afraid of heights?
I'm not afraid of heights. I just want to live.
I just like being alive
I just like
a
being
lot.
here. I like being here. Okay, this is like maybe a really stupid one because it's so tangible.
Hit it.
But I've never been like hunting or fishing on a boat.
Oh, come on. We
I
can
know.
do that tomorrow.
We could do it tomorrow.
Now we got to go hunt and fish. I got you.
So like maybe something crazy. Crush.
Yeah. We should do a deep sea trip. Can you like be in boats and like do
I
you
don't
get
know.
seasick? Well, we'll see.
We'll find
We'll get you those like bracelets.
Yeah.
And we'll get you the waders.
Yeah, just get me drunk too. You don't know if I'm seasick or just wasted.
I think that'll be perfect. That'll be perfect. Okay, this is the last question. Here we go. Well, I feel like I know the answer to this one. What is something that's dramatically changed your life in the last 6 months?
Weird. It's definitely just being on a record label and I never had management or publishing or booking agent or anything like that. So honestly, as much work is coming in, I get to really focus on being creative for the first time because I'm not being my own manager. I'm not being my own booking agent. I get to just like show up to rights and I get to do stuff like this. And yeah, is it a lot? It is, but I don't have to worry about logistics as much anymore.
Yeah.
So It's changed my life, and I'm trying not to be a control freak anymore.
Yeah. When you figure that out, you let me know.
Yeah, dude.
Please.
I don't know. I never will. Don't worry. But
we're going to be like 80 still like, I
Yeah,
have a
just-
song
yeah,
and I know the artwork. And
yep.
Yep. Well, I just want to say thank you. I'm all in on my Lily stock. I think you're a freaking superstar, and I love you, and I appreciate you, and thank you for being here.
Dude, thank you for having me. I've always been a fan, and it only grows every day and every time we get to hang out. So thanks for having me,
I agree.
Spence.
Of
You're
course.
the best.
Appreciate you.
Dude.
All right, y'all, that's another episode of Why Are We Here? I'm your host, Spencer Crandall. Again, thank you so much for watching, listening, whatever you're doing. If you're in the car, or on the treadmill, wherever you are, we appreciate you watching and listening. It means a lot if you tag us on socials at Why Are We Here _podcast. Make sure to subscribe, and we'll see you again next week. We come out on Mondays, and we have an awesome season 1 guest list lineup that's going to be coming at you. So stay tuned. Why Are We Here?